Hey commenters, eyes up here. Superman releases today in theaters worldwide and is directed and written by James Gunn, who's also behind such films like Slither, Super, the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, The Suicide Squad, and Peacemaker. And this film is starring David Corenswet, Rachel Brosnahan, Nicholas Hoult, Eddie Gathegi, Anthony Carrigan, Nathan Fillion, and Isabella Merced. Superman has been known to the world for the last 3 years as an alien with superpowers who flies around and helps people. But some people in power don't like that they don't have full control over him, so they turn to the evil genius mind of Lex Luthor to isolate the alien. And meanwhile, Superman is also struggling with maintaining favor with members of the press as some dark secrets about his heritage become public. So for those of you that know me and have watched this channel and have watched the memorabilia behind me, the clothing that I wear, the tattoos on my arm, you know that this movie is my most anticipated film of 2025, ever since they announced that, hey, we're going to be rebooting this franchise once again, and they recast Superman. James Gunn, Peter Safran become the chief executive officers of DC Studios, which is now its own movie studio. It's not technically Warner Brothers anymore. I was just super pumped and super excited, and thankfully I got to watch this film a couple of days early with the Prime screening. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you got to see this on Tuesday, July 8th. And thank God I did, because I don't want any spoilers. Social media puts out so many freaking spoilers on everything now, if they get to see it early for some reason, and then the entire experience is ruined for me. So thankfully, I went into this completely blind, not knowing anything. And guys, this is a great movie. You all have heard the chatter, I'm sure, online and from everywhere, talking about how people who have already seen this film are just having a great time, and that it has great heart and it has great characters. It's super entertaining. It has a lot of great action, has a lot of great sci-fi elements to it, and it's all absolutely true. This film I could watch on repeat. That's how great this movie is. And I can't say that about every film that I consider to be my favorite. My favorite film of all time is The Dark Knight, and that's not a film that I could watch and then rewind. Wow, I just dated myself there. Watch and then start from the beginning, watch again, and then watch again in a single sitting. This film, I absolutely feel like that, because this film is so much fun. It has great dialogue, it has great characters, the casting here is perfect, and the presentation of this world and of this character is something that I sorely have been needing in my life, and I think a lot of people out there have been needing in their lives. Going into this film, I had the mindset that with the original Superman the movie from 1978, the Richard Donner film, that had the tagline of "You'll believe a man can fly." And when you watch that movie as a kid, or if you're old enough to have seen that in the theater, you absolutely did. And that was the best thing about this movie, is that you've never seen a man fly on screen before, at least this convincing. And a tagline like that is about, achievement and pushing forward and technological advancements and things like that, which were in the mindset of people back in the 70s and the 80s with the Cold War and, trying to compete with everyone else out there with the space race and everything. It was all about technological achievements. And we did that. We absolutely did that. So here for this movie, I didn't want to believe that a man could fly, because I already know that. We have so many superhero films out there, CGI artists and special effects artists, and the rigging and the wire work. I definitely believe that on screen, someone can fly. That's not a big pop for me anymore. For me, this movie had to make me believe that there are still good people in this world. It's been a difficult 10 years for me, just with the jobs that I have worked and the dark hole of depression that I was in, seeing all of the hatred on social media all throughout the world. The political climate is absolutely terrible now. There's just a lot of hate and a lot of people hating each other, doing acts of violence on each other. For the last 10 years, I've become a very cynical person, and I haven't been able to believe that there are good people out there. When I go out to go grocery shopping, or I just go out in general, or if I take a phone call from someone, I just immediately think, oh God, this person's an asshole, or that person's an asshole, or that person's an evil person. I wanted this film to make me believe that good people still exist. And you know what? This film absolutely does. And I'm getting a little teary-eyed thinking about it because it's nice to believe in doing good and good existing once again. In previous iterations of Superman, Superman has always been represented by the S on his chest, the emblem on his chest, and it's always stood for hope. And hope is a good thing. Hope is a great thing. In the terms of a certain prisoner escaping from Shawshank, hope is a good thing, probably the best of things. But hope has a very futuristic connotation to it, like hoping that things will eventually get better, and hoping that things are great down the road. I wanted something for here and now. In this film, the presentation of Superman is that the emblem on his chest, what he does, his actions, are because it's the right thing to do and because it's the good thing to do. And I am so happy that we got a presentation like that with this character that is just larger than life, though he seems, at points in this film, he seems small, down to earth, like a natural human being, which leads to one of the great monologues in this film that he has, that yes, he is an alien, but he's a human being like you and me, and that makes him, equal. Yes, he does have these superpowers, but doesn't make him that different, though. And if there's one shining beacon that comes out of this movie, there are many shining beacons, by the way, but there is one shining beacon. It is the casting and the performance of David Corenswet as Clark Kent, as Superman. This man just screams charisma. He has so much charm on screen, and he fully embodies both sides of this character. In the Superman suit, he is someone that other people, other superheroes can aspire to and take inspiration from. But also as Clark Kent, yes, he's bumbling and he shrinks himself even though he's a gigantic person, but he's also inspiring in that role too. He is nice and he stands up for what is right and what is good, even when he's challenged by Lois Lane, played by Rachel Brosnahan, who is also fantastic, by the way. Their chemistry with each other, it's impeccable. And you can tell that, like, this was the first thing that James Gunn did with this film, other than, writing the damn thing. Having these two read with each other, audition with each other, yeah, you can tell the chemistry is there. You can tell that they are digging on each other. But Lois Lane in this film also challenges Superman, and it doesn't come from a place of malice or jealousy or envy. She's just doing what she does best. She's a reporter. She is always thinking ahead and challenging things and trying to get to the bottom of things or behind things that are being said. So that long scene that they have, and you've seen it in the trailers when they're talking about the actions that he's done, stopping a war, and him saying people were going to die, isn't that enough? It's one of the best scenes in the movie. And we also have the introduction of the Justice Gang in here, which is just great seeing some of these characters, like Hawkgirl. It's great seeing her on the big screen finally. I grew up with her in the Justice League animated series. And Isabella Merced, who just has the best acting agent, I think. Her career so far over the last 5 years has been tremendous. I want your agent, ma'am. You are doing fantastic. Keep it up. Eddie Gathegi, who plays Mr. Terrific, has a bigger role than the other Justice Gang members in this film. He was freaking fantastic. He was hilarious, but he also plays a pivotal part in saving Superman, saving what happens to Metropolis in this film. And then, of course, Nathan Fillion. He's always great, and he understands comedic timing, and he has it as Guy Gardner in here. He raises the tone of his voice a little bit. He gives himself a little Brooklyn accent sometimes, but he's great, and I really can't wait to see him throughout this DCU when he shows up on the Lanterns TV series. Nathan Fillion was great. And then in terms of our villain of the story, yes, Lex Luthor is the main villain of this film, no matter what some of the fanboys online and the theorists online are saying. Lex Luthor is the main villain of this story, and I think Nicholas Hoult gives a great performance. His cadences, his American accent that he uses in here all work very well. I just think a little bit of the script and the backstory of this character is missing for us, the audience. Let's say if this is your first time ever seeing anything Superman-wise. This film drops you in 3 years after Superman has made himself known, and we don't get really any of the backstory. We don't see Krypton exploding. We really don't see his birth parents sending him out to Earth. And then we actually don't see a lot of his adopted parents from Kansas raising him. Us Superman fans know that that's what happens. And I think that's the main detriment that this film has, is that I think we're missing some exposition that is important to this story of this character if we're going to be introducing him for the first time in this brand new world. It felt like there was like 10 or 20 minutes missing from this movie overall, where we could see a little bit more establishment of the relationships that are created in this film with Superman. The relationship between him and Lois, we could have used more of that, of how that got started. The relationship between him and the Justice Gang, the relationship between Superman and Lex Luthor, and why Lex Luthor hates him so much. There just could have been a little bit more explanation, or we could have seen a little bit more as to how those relationships got to where they are for this movie. Probably my least favorite performance in the film was Jimmy Olsen. That performance felt very forced to me. First, it's great seeing Jimmy Olsen again on screen, because we haven't gotten that for a very long time. But his delivery of comedy was repetitive. There's a moment in here, and I'm not going to spoil, who the people are, but he's having a conversation on the phone with someone that he doesn't like, but he has to conversate with because they have important information that he needs. So when he gets the quid pro quo of like, hey, I'll give you the information, but you gotta hang out with me, you gotta go on a date with me, it happens multiple times in the script where Jimmy is on the phone and he has a long pregnant pause and he's like, we have to? It happens like 5 or 6 times throughout this film. And it was fine. It was funny the first time, but once you get to that 5th or 6th time, it definitely stops being funny. But that is like one of the few things that I didn't enjoy about this film. I'm going back to things that I did enjoy. Of course, the music here is wonderful. It uses the John Williams score, but not all throughout this movie. It uses little bits here and there, and it's my favorite theme of all time. It's probably my favorite song of all time, the John Williams Superman theme. But just hearing the trumpets here and there, and there are moments in here where it starts and then it bleeds into something new and something fresh for this version of Superman. The music here is great, and I'm going to be listening to it on repeat for the next 10 years, guarantee it. And of course there's Krypto. I mean, Krypto is wonderful, and, that's the main inspiration that James Gunn had for creating this movie, is because Krypto, this version of Krypto, is based on the dog that he adopted, who's just a bad dog, and one of his ears sticking up the entire time. So does Krypto, and it's absolutely adorable. He reminded me a lot of my childhood dog that it traumatized me so much. It still does to this day, ever since that he passed away, and how much I miss him. So seeing Krypto on screen, there are moments in here where I'm just getting teary-eyed thinking about it, where he's running around, or he's playing with squirrels, or playing with animals, or monkeys, or whatever, and I'm just thinking, oh, that was my dog. God, I miss him. So I love it. Krypto's great. Krypto's wonderful. My favorite part. I think I've said that about several things about this movie, but I don't care. Krypto's the best. This is definitely one of my favorite films of the year, and it's an excellent start to this brand new DC universe that James Gunn is creating, and I'm only that much more excited to have all these other projects come to us over the next several years. I love DC characters. They're my favorite. So to see these characters represented well on screen, and to see all of these people all over the world who are going to see this movie, and the majority of them enjoying it, it does my heart good, because I'm a fan of Man of Steel. I really enjoy that movie, but it's a divisive film. I'm well aware, I can accept that. It was divisive. It challenged people. It told aspects of this character that many people didn't want to see. They wanted to see the Christopher Reeve version of Superman. So for the last 10, 12 years, defending that movie and defending that take on Superman, it's exhausting. With this movie, I'm so happy that it seems like the majority of people out there are loving this version. That way I can just sit back, relax, and enjoy what comes next. Go check out Superman if you haven't already. This film is one of the best of the year. It's one of my favorites. This film is absolutely wonderful. I'm going to give Superman 4.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
So guys, if you've seen Superman, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across because of this video, then comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you'll the next time I'm releasing next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.